record. Okay, so one of the things that I want to do as far as trading goes, I always want to identify a trend. That's number one. If I don't see a trend, I don't trade. And that's one of the things that a lot of people get messed up in, is because they're trading in either a ranging market or they're trading in a some type of just ugly price action, like how we kind of have today, right? So what I like to tell people is you always want to identify the trend first. And if you can't identify it, then you don't need to be trading it, because how you're going to make a trade if you can't identify the trend? So what most traders do is they don't understand the trend. So what they do is they get caught buying these higher highs, right? How many times have you guys that don't know about the trend, how many times have you actually bought a stock, right? You bought calls and then the stock pulled back, you cut for a loss just to see it run your way? How many people have actually been in that situation before? Right? If that happens to you a lot, one of the things that you need to learn is trading the trend, right? So what I like to do is I like to trade the trend. So whenever you're looking at an uptrend, you only buy calls at higher lows, right? You only buy calls at higher lows. And a good rule of thumb is the best way to do it is, if you're buying at higher lows, that price target, like we was just talking about on double tops or any chart pattern, that price target is always going to be that higher high. That's literally money, guys. It's literally money. I'm trying to tell y'all right now, it's literally money. Let me show you an example of a trade that I took like this. So remember what I just said, right? We're buying a retest. So we let it go, we run, let it run, and we wait till it pull back, and we use that high as the target. So let me actually show you this on the chart, if I can find it. It's been a minute since let me see. I gotta find it. Scotty, do you remember what trade that was? I know Scotty on here. That was coin, but I'm trying to figure out what time frame was it on. I think it was the 15-minute, I believe. I think it was a 15-minute. Scotty, was it the 15-minute? I think it was. Let me go back here. It's been a minute since I took this trade, and this was 5 days. Let me change my time frame. Let's go to 15 days. Okay. Ooh, guys, I should have had this written down already. My bad, y'all. I'm trying to find it for you right now. Ooh, I just took a trade like this recently. Well, all my trades are like this. I just trying to show you like a nice one. Where was it at? Where was it at? How long ago was that? I can't remember what day that was. Yeah, I'm looking at the same thing. I can't remember exactly. I'll post it in my channel. I can't remember exactly where it was. I want to say, was this it? I want to say this is it, but then again, the uptrend wasn't that intact as I would liked it. But this is a little example. I'm gonna find y'all a better one and just send it in the chat once I find it. But so what I like to do is, and also when you identifying the trend or you just trading these retests, right? It kind of look like this, right? Boom, boom, and then we're using that high as a target, right? And I'm gonna send y'all a picture of this, what this kind of look like. It's like the ABCD strategy. Kind of, I'm not a strat. I don't use a strat, but I noticed that my strategy is kind of similar to it, right? So right here, if you're looking at this, right, this was a good example of that, right? Boom, had that high, retested, use that, and kind of, y'all see what I'm talking about? This is kind of what I do on a day-to-day basis, right? And I'm normally buying at this retest. Most people are taught to buy at the breakout. I'm buying at the retest, right? It's kind of like Elliott waves a little bit, kind of like it. I kind of like took multiple strategies and just made my own, if that makes sense. So it's kind of similar to a lot of stuff, but it's like all into just my own personal kind of how I like to take trades. I'm gonna find y'all better examples in a minute. So when you're looking at this is literally how majority of my trades are taken, right? I don't like chasing the breakout. I just wait for the retest, and I'm buying it cheaper here. Now, I have people always say, well, Jay, how do you know that it's going to retest? You don't. That's literally the point of it. You don't know that it's going to be a retest or it's going to sell off. But what I do know is I'm buying it at a cheaper price right here. So I know if I buy right here, one of the reason is people taking profits, right? They're taking profits at that high and everybody's trying to get out because it's pulling back. Oh man, it's pulling back, right? So I'm already catching it at a cheaper price. So by the time they get back up here, I'm selling it into strength, selling it into that premium spike. So not only am I getting money because my contracts are increasing, I mean, because the stock price is increasing, but I'm also catching that premium spike in my contract, which generating me more money, right? So that's literally all my whole goal is. The stock market is basically buying high and selling, buying low and selling high. So I'm treating the contracts the same way. I'm buying the contracts low and I'm selling the contracts high. That's literally all my strategy consists of, is finding things at a cheaper price and selling them for a higher price. That's exactly what I'm flipping contracts. That's all I'm doing. And a lot of people don't think like that. They literally forget that part, right? They forget that part. I'm literally flipping contracts, right? My strategy is really simple. I don't use all this extra stuff. It's pretty simple. I'm trying to find things at a cheaper price and I'm trying to buy them, right? And a lot of the times, what do this create? Stuff like this. What is this right here? What is this? What is this creating? What is this pattern? Can anybody tell me what this pattern is within this? Most of the time, it's going to create this pattern. Let's see. Come on, somebody. What is this pattern in here before I draw a bull flag, right? Most of the time, it's going to create a bull flag. Yes. Also, yes. Somebody asked me, they was like, these moves must be pretty fast if you're buying a weekly. Yes. Like I said, buying a weekly, that's just kind of what I like to do. One of the main reasons, and I'm gonna just explain why I buy weeklies, because I don't want people thinking, frowning upon weeklies. Yes, weeklies do hurt if you don't know what you're doing. But the way I trade kind of allow me to not get burnt on weeklies like people normally do, because I'm already buying the weeklies at a lower price, right? Most people get burnt on weeklies, like I said, because they're taught to buy breakouts. So the weeklies are already priced in even more on the break. So then if it doesn't go their way, those pullbacks hurt way more. So for me, so I'm not gonna lie, like it's a little fast, right? Simply because I'm buying it and these moves kind of happen right away. But I know myself. See, the difference between other people is they trying to mimic other people. Like you have to know yourself, right? I knew coming into trading a few years ago that I'm not the type of trader. I can't hold long. I don't know what it is, but if the stock don't go my way within the first 1 or 2 days, I don't want it anymore. Just to see, and I used to always have this problem. I used to buy monthlies, and not gonna lie, seeing the stock, seeing that play be down for a couple of weeks at a time, and to me, I just couldn't do that, guys. I couldn't hold it that long. So for me, I had to find something that was more my style, more that I'm okay with for myself. So if you're a person that can't if you actually, it don't look like like I know from looking at it, you probably think like, oh, well, Jay just not patient. Actually, I am patient in a way, because as you can see, if I wasn't impatient, I would be buying breakouts, right? I literally wait for the stock to pull back. And then I get this question all the time, especially from new people. Well, Jay, what happens if it don't pull back? Okay, then you don't take the trade. Then it ain't you. There's other opportunities. I don't want to take the trade, because the reason why it all comes down to, let me show y'all kind of another thing that I do. Let me draw it over here. Every time that we take, the market moves in waves of impulse. Hold on. Dang. The market moves in waves of impulse, corrections, and then another impulsive move, right? The market moves in waves. So for me, I don't never want to get caught in this impulsive move, simply because you never know when it's going to correct, right? We can have impulse, correction, impulse, correction, huge impulse, no correction, then keep impulsing. I'm literally waiting for these corrections, right? I want to trade healthy moves. I don't want that. That's why I don't like penny stocks at the moment. I mean, I might get better at it, as time go by, but this is why I don't like meme stocks, penny stocks, and none of that, because they don't have healthy moves. I want healthy moves. I want stocks that are creating, higher highs and higher lows, right? I want higher highs, higher lows. I want healthy trends, right? Most people don't do that. They just see a stock going up and they like, oh, I'm gonna just join the party. And we have a huge impulsive move, and then you get something like this and then lose everything, right? I don't like moves like that. I want healthy moves. These are the type of moves that I'm looking for. I don't want these impulsive moves, right? The market moves in impulse, correction, impulse, right? So that's how I'm literally taking trades. How do you know when the bottom of a retracement was before the call option? The bottom of a retracement. Normally, if in the trend, the bottom of the retracement is going to be that higher low. So that's how you identify if it's an actual pullback or actual reversal, right? So let's say, let me draw an example of an uptrend. So we go in here, boom, come back here, boom, and then boom. Okay, so how do I know the difference between a pullback or a reversal? Well, number one, when you're identifying a trend, you remember an uptrend, you want to keep having higher highs and higher lows put in. So once those are not putting in anymore, that's when you know that, I'm gonna show you a downtrend in a minute. That's when you know that the trend is now starting to break, right? So for here, this is literally how I take puts. So right here, we got this, and it literally creates double tops. Like, it's all about market structure, guys. It literally creates these patterns, right? So we have higher highs and higher lows. So we got a higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, right? Then we had another higher high, but guess what? We then we pulled back. We stopped. We literally, I wouldn't say take puts yet. I'm trying to say, let me, so I don't throw nobody off. We don't take puts unless a higher low is now broken, right? So as you can see, we came here, but we came back here, but guess what? We don't take puts yet because it never broke this higher low yet, right? We want to break the previous higher low before we could take puts again. So as you can see, we still haven't broken. So what did this create, right? This created a double bottom, right? No, not right here. I'm talking about right here. I know it ain't the prettiest, but it's still a double bottom, right? That's literally how it goes, right? We created a double bottom, and this is what happens a lot of the times, right? We want to break and close below the previous higher low. So then this is when it actually broke, right? You still don't take puts here. I'm about to show y'all. Let me write it down so y'all can kind of see exactly how it works, right? I'm gonna give y'all, so I ain't confusing nobody. So let's just draw this uptrend one more time. I'm gonna get y'all the whole thing right here. Can't make it higher low, higher high. Okay. So now I'm about to break down everything, right? So here we go. We got our first higher low, right? Then we had a higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. Then we created a higher high, but then we did not create another higher low. What is this area right here, right? So we're going to call this our support level. What is this area? This is, since it ain't a higher low because this low is not higher than that low. This high is not lower. What is this? What is this right here, guys? What is this right here? Equal low, we just call it a low. So we just put an L. So it's just a low. It's not a higher low because it didn't break. It just came back and retested it. But where do we actually run puts, right? So right now, this is when we're starting to think like, okay, we didn't create another higher high. So I want to take my profits. I want to get out this trade because now the trend is starting to trip. We can come back down, and then generally we create a what? Somebody had just said it. A double top, right? So and normally this is where people are most likely getting inputs because I noticed an uptrend, and then we cannot create another higher high. Remember, a uptrend has to be higher highs and higher lows. So once it does not create those, that's when it starts to get, okay, now it's time to exit this trade, right? So now that we're waiting for it to break here, we're waiting for it to break the previous higher low. Once it breaks, this is the problem, right? Once it breaks that, now if you're a scalper, that's fine. You can take the break and then just go ahead and ride it back down. That's up to you. That's totally up to you. What I like to do is I like a better quality trade. So what I like to do is I wait for it to create a lower high. Now that we're going to the downtrend, normally what's going to happen is it's going to break that higher low level. And then once it breaks that, it's going to retest that level to sell off again. This is where I'm signaling, let's get into puts, right? We broke that higher low. Now we're retesting that level. Now I'm taking puts instead of taking puts here, because how many times, like we just said it, how many times have you took puts to see the stock price reverse on you, then you sell, and then it goes back your way, right? So for me, I'm literally trading higher highs and higher lows and lower highs, right? So I'm only taking puts at lower highs. So this is a put entry. This is a put entry. This is a put entry. This is a put entry, right? And I'm literally doing that same thing with calls. This is a call entry. This is a calls entry. This is a calls entry. This is a calls entry. And then if you wanted to, you could take the double bottom, take it back to that top. If you want to, you can take the double top, take it back to that neckline, to that bottom. So you see, guys, how literally it takes the stress out of trading. Like trading is stressful as hell, but if you keep it simple, you will be fine. Now, and I'm gonna show y'all better examples of higher highs. Let me see. I think I seen one yesterday on SPY 5 minute for you guys, because I was trying to give you an example, a nice example. And like I said, the market choppy as hell right now, so it's hard trying to identify them on the charts right now, but it's fine. We can find something. That was choppy. So this kind of one. Hold on, my bad, y'all. Remove these levels, remove, clear draw and set. Trying to get y'all a good trend. Actually, I think SPY Daily was like just in a huge, nice uptrend. Trying to get y'all a pretty one. You won't see them. Like, let me see. I'm trying to get y'all a good one before I let y'all off real quick. Trying to get y'all a good example before I let y'all off. Yesterday was in a downward trend. I kind of see that in this. I want to give y'all a good one because this one not that bad. Okay, so this is actually a good example. You don't have to draw a trail line. I just did just so you can kind of get a good visual. So as you can see, we started this uptrend. Right here was our first real higher low. Not really. I guess you can call this one our first one. So like I said, they're not going to be pretty, but I'm about to just show you an example. So right here, we have our first higher low. Then we have another higher low. And then as you can see right here, kind of the example that we were talking about, guys, this one did not double top, but I'm just trying to show you, you want to ran puts until it broke that level anyway. So everybody see what I'm talking about? So we had an impulsive move up, correction, impulsive move up, correction. And then there we go. We could not create a, well, actually, no, my bad. I just threw y'all off. Okay. So we have our first higher low, right? Our second higher low. So if literally as it came back down, we had a higher low. And then right here, as you can see, a lot of people were like, oh man, SPY is selling off. Let's take puts. Guys, it never broke that higher low. So it would have been dumb to take puts. And actually, I remember this trade now. I actually took calls on this trade. Yep. I knew it was somewhere. So I actually took calls here. And as you can see why I took calls, right? We created a like double bottom. And then my price target was the neckline. Like similar how I told you guys with the double tops, right? Did everybody see that? I took XPX, but just it would pay more money. But it was a great trade. It was an easy trade. It was so simple. It literally, we identified the trend. We are now in the uptrend, creating higher lows. We came back, create another higher low, boom, came back. We couldn't break it, so I'm taking calls to that neckline. I didn't even catch all this. I was literally taking profits here. And then as you can see, we broke. And then that's when you can go from there. So that was like an uptrend. Like I said, price action not going to be always that pretty, but this is a good example on, using that higher highs and higher lows. As you can see, we never broke. So we created a double bottom and made it make sense. A lot of you guys have to understand market structure and just understand the trend so you guys can know when a double bottom or when a double top will actually make sense at. Do that make sense? Like you want to know where it makes sense, because people be drawing patterns out of thin air, right? You want to have it aligned. A double bottom should be, in the uptrend, a double bottom should be at those higher lows or those equal lows, right? That's where a double bottom should be at. So if it's not at that, then it's a lot riskier to take that trade now. This literally was a good example of an easy trade. This was like trading is not easy, but as you can see, look how simple that was, right? It came to this higher low, it bounced. So as here, it held that level. How do you know that it's holding the level, right? We're paying attention to what? How do we know that buyers are there, guys? How do we know buyers are there? What is the indication that buyers are there? Support level, there we go. That's the answer I was looking for, wicks, right? You want to see wicks. Wicks mean they're rejecting to go lower. They're rejecting to go lower, right? They're rejecting to go lower. So that gives you that extra confirmation. Also, if you read tape or whatever, I'm not going to get too much into that, but if you read tape as well, that was a great indication. But you start seeing these wicks, and that's when you want to see price wicking at support. So that's pretty much what I have for today. I can do more, like my strategy as far as like I do a lot of different things, so it's kind of hard to go through everything at once. But reading tape is definitely that's not something I can just go over and just real quickly. Like reading tape definitely takes about 2 to 3 sessions. I can do something like that. I do have a tape session coming up. Okay. So the bigger the wick is, yes, the bigger the wick is, the better it is. So like, for example, yesterday for SPY, not quick transparency, I did not catch this move, but the reason why I didn't catch it was because I'm doing this little challenge or whatever. But another way that I seen on SPY, this is SPY, right? Yeah. So as you can see, no, this was today. This was yesterday, right here. So a move that I could have caught on SPY yesterday that I already had charted was right here. SPY was wicking pretty hard at this level, right? People was taking puts, then we came to this level, we started wicking pretty hard. All of this conjunction, all of this consolidation right here. And then it made a move up. And if you took it, this was over. This was a crazy move. Like OTDE, this move could have been, I had the contracts, I didn't pull the trigger because I went in my trading desk. I don't like trading from my phone. I only pull the trigger if I'm at my desk. But I literally had the contracts ready to go. I just didn't take it because I wasn't at home. But these contracts went from $30 to $310, right? And it was so simple. Price was rejecting to go lower. We was in this demand zone. Price was rejecting to go lower. You could have just took calls. The contracts were only $30. They went all the way up to $310, right? So little stuff like that, guys. How do you, I'm glad that you asked. Somebody asked, how do I pick strikes with this trading strategy? So the number one way that I pick strike prices is, and I'm just being honest, the best way to do it is pick a strike price that you think the stock price is going to, because I don't trade in the money like everybody think I do. I pick strike prices that I think the stock price is going to. This allows me to keep from going too far out the money, but also being able to have those higher gains than going in the money. I'm not really an in the money trader at all. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't trade in the money at pretty much at all. And not to discourage what Lawrence teaching you guys, that's just his way of trading. But I trade out the monies or at the monies. I don't go too far out. So for example, if I'm trying to think of a trade that I took. What is a trade that I took today? Oh, Amazon. So I took Amazon $2,500 calls. So I actually thought Amazon was going to $2,500 today. So they're not too far off. I took Amazon $2,500 calls, y'all. Amazon definitely had room. I know it don't look like it, but Amazon definitely had room to go to $2,500 today. I took them yesterday as well. And as you can see, once we broke, right, I was able to take Amazon and it did go to 2,500. So for me, I like to pick the stock price. I mean, the contracts that the stock price is going to. So like if I think SPY is going to, or at least close to it. So if I think SPY is going to, like a SPY is at 410 and I think it has room to go to 415, the max that I take, the minimum I take is 415. I won't go past that. So anything between 415 and under, and I always look at the open interest and the volume or whatever in the IV. But generally, I'm always picking a stock price that I think a contract price that I think the stock price is going to, and I only pick the whole numbers, right? It's supporting resistance levels, but I always do that. So now when you're trying to figure out how do you think that the IV is always, I always want under 100. And actually for my trading strategy, that's why I have to pick contracts with lower IV, simply because remember, I'm trying to catch that IV spike, right? I'm trying to catch all of that. You know, when a lot of people start buying the contract, what happens? The IV, you know, goes up and it makes your contract cost more. So that's one of the goals that I have with my strategy, is because, like I said, I'm buying these contracts low and I'm selling them high. So for me, it always matters when I'm picking my contract to make sure that that IV isn't high. For example, I will like, that's why I don't like meme stocks, because they already have 400% IV. They already in the 400s. They always, AMC always got 400, 100 or whatever. I don't like that, because one of my strategies is I'm trying to buy the contract with a lower IV. Like everything I do is buy low, sell high. Like if you don't notice this, I'm trying to buy the contract lower. I'm trying to have lower IV. I'm trying to have a lower stock price. Literally everything, even with puts, everything that I do is always buying low and selling high. I'm literally flipping contracts, right? And that nets me those high returns. If you notice, I'm not the type of trader, and this is, I probably don't be as transparent with you guys. If I'm sending you my profits aren't 5% gains. If I'm sending you a big profit, it's more likely 100, 200, 300%. And one of the things to how I'm doing that is the way I'm trading is allowing me to get these bigger gains, right? One of my biggest trades this year was NDX. I took an NDX, right? I bought NDX calls, and I made $108,000 on NDX. That was my biggest trade to this year. And it wasn't he put in $200,000. He did that. No, I put in $19,000 in that trade, about my normal size, and it went 500%. It went over 500%, right? So the gains that I'm sending, and these are not earnings. This is literally a simple day-to-day basis. And that was an anticipation trade. Let me actually walk y'all through that one real quick. My biggest trade of the year. This was my biggest one. I'm about to walk y'all through it. The biggest trade. And I was able to call this one out. I didn't take this by myself. I actually called this out. Here it is. I leave it on my charts right here. There it is, right there. The biggest trade of the year, right here. This trade was wild, y'all. I didn't think it was going. I knew it was going to hit, but I didn't think it was going to hit that hard. Like I knew it was going to go at least 100, 200%, but 500%. Hey, this is crazy. So let me show you how I did it. So right here, as you can see, do everybody know what this pattern is? Bear flag, right? So as you can see, this is, I'm gonna show you how I took this trade. And I'm gonna send, for people that don't believe me, I'm gonna send y'all, I literally caught it way before this even happened. So one of the things was we have a resistance level, right? We had a resistance level, right? And I'm literally sending into the chat. I'm like, hey, y'all, I'm like, NDX might be a bear flag. Like it's rejecting this resistance level. So what do I do? I'm like, it's rejecting. So I literally was like, all right, I'm gonna just take puts, but I was going to swing it because I'm on a daily time frame, right? Now I know y'all finna call me crazy, but I do take day trades off the daily time frame sometimes, and I intend to swing them, but they end up going 100, 200%. And the reason why is the daily time frame, you're getting these bigger candles, so you're getting these huge momentum candles, guys. So you get candles like this. So I literally sent in the chat. I'm like, hey guys, I said, you know what? I'm gonna, like, everybody was still in calls or whatever. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna take NDX puts because it's rejecting its resistance. And obviously this is a low risk trade for me, right? Nobody's looking at puts right now. Nobody's looking at puts right now. So I'm gonna just go ahead and take this trade. I'm gonna take it, and if it breaks back above here, I'm gonna cut the trade. It's literally, to me, it's that simple. I don't have to wait for the break, because if I waited for this break right here, I'm not saying this is the only time I ever did something like this. You know, I like taking, I'm just showing you the anticipation kind of style that I do. if you took it right here, I'm not gonna lie, guys, by this time, I was already up 300, 200% right here. So most people are taught to buy here. I'm already up. So honestly, I could have started taking profits here. You know what I mean? So I'm taking it up here, bear flag, waiting to see it break. There we go. We started rejecting. Boom. It finally broke. Remember, my target is always going to be the lowest part of the bear flag. Put this in your notes. My target is always, if I'm taking anticipation, my target is always going to be the lowest point of the bear flag. And even the same thing. If I'm taking calls, my target is going to always be the highest point of a bull flag, the highest point of a falling wedge. It's like this. So let me show you another thing before I get back into this trade. Let's say that we got a bull flag, right? I take my bull flags at that retest. So I take my bull flags down here, right? So my price target is always going to be the highest point of the bull flag, right? So as we break out, boom, that's my first price target, right? And normally I'm always trimming there or taking my profit. Same thing with a falling wedge, right? I kind of drew that steep. I drew that so steep, my bad, y'all. It's always going to be like that. That is like my automatic price target. If you have problems with support and resistance, this is an easy entry into support and resistance. That's because you don't know. You just don't know, right? Yeah. So like right here, we got a falling wedge. Boom, price reacting within the falling wedge. My price target is always going to be the highest point. I'm going to show you if y'all don't believe it. I'm going to show y'all an exact example of it in a minute. Boom, once it broke out, that's normally my target. That's normally when we start seeing that resistance from, because remember, it did sell. Understand, a bull flag works from it had an impulsive move to resistance, sold off, consolidated, then broke back above. So normally that level, it rejects in the first place. So normally I want to take profits there anyway. And most traders are taught to buy right there anyway. So a lot of times you have a liquidity grab where, you know, the market makers to do something like this. They know all the retail traders are buying a breakout. So they would do something like this. They will let it go up a little bit. Everybody get in. Then here they go. They pull it back down, might do something like this, and then they start a downtrend on you. Or they might actually do something like that and then bring it back. But the whole goal is to get you sticking out there. So for me, I'm avoiding all of that because I bought down here, lower contract price, better entry. Boom, I'm taking profits there. So I don't have to worry about that pullback. I'm already up. I'm gonna show you an example of this in a minute. But so right here, I'm taking this bear flag. I took the bear flag, right? I'm stop loss right above. The lowest point of the bear flag was this candle here. I rolled it down here. There you go, 580% trade. This was NDX, so they pay a lot more than QQQ. And there you go, my biggest trade to date, right? I took my profits and I could have, everybody was like, I had this question last time I told people about this trade. That was like, Jay, you knew it was going lower. Why didn't you just hold? Look, when it comes to holding runners, you have to understand, you have to make sure that you fully accept the fact that they are runners. A lot of people, when they get runners, they don't fully accept the fact that those runners can do literally anything. If I'm leaving a runner to chase more profits, that means I've accepted that if the runner does the complete opposite, I'm okay with that. I've locked in enough profit to where if the runner decides to go to zero, don't let your trades go to zero, but I'm just saying, if the runner decides to go to zero, you're totally okay with that. And a lot of people are not okay with that. They end up leaving too many runners to where actually if the stock reverses, they go red. So I was not okay with leaving runners on NDX because first of all, these damn contracts were $6,000. Like I bought them at 700, I believe, 700, 900. I can't even remember. I got to go back and look. They were like 700 a piece, 900. I didn't even buy that many of them. And then by the time it was down here, they were like $6,000. So hell no, I don't want to leave a runner no more. Hey, that's $6,000 in runners. I don't want to leave that no more. I'm taking that. So that's why I'm just trying to get y'all to understand. If you're going to leave a runner, you have to literally be okay if that runner. How many contracts are you scooping up? So for me, I don't have a number. I have a price that I'm willing to go in a trade with. Depending on the setup, like any trade that I take, it has to have a very high risk to reward. So here, like I said, this had a very high risk to reward. I'm taking puts here. And if it breaks above, boom. So like when we're looking at my risk to reward here, right? My stop loss is here, this red area. Boom. If we close above there, and then my price target, these levels was here before I even did it, right? I'm not making these levels just to make them. This is my risk to reward, right? So when you look in terms of risk reward, I'm risking this red box to make this green box, right? So when you start thinking in terms like this, you're going to be more likely to take the trade, right? Because in trading, you don't know if you're going to win or lose. This is literally, you don't know. But when you're looking at it from this, is I feel more comfortable knowing I risked $19,000 here to make all of this, right? So because look, understand, you're not gonna lose the whole 19,000 unless you're trying to hold and hope, right? Literally, if I get stopped out here, I might lose like 2 grand, maybe 3 grand. That's fine. But as you can see, if it does work, I'm gonna get like 100K, right? And that's my mindset, right? That's literally how I take my trade. So if we go in here and try to like, rough it around a little bit, we're risking 1, 2, 3, 4, about 5. So we're risking 1 to make 5, right? So that risk reward is good. That makes me pull the trigger. That gives me that confidence to pull the trigger, knowing that I'm risking $1 to make $5. And you have to think like that as a trader. You have to think in terms of risk reward. You have to think in terms of probability. Let me see. How do you know when to enter those puts? It touched their resistance multiple times. Like, which candle did you get in? So actually, I'm trying to make sure exactly what candle did I. Yeah, I got in on this candle. Actually, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. This trade, I wouldn't call it 100% luck right here. That entry was just money. So the market was kind of, and I always pay attention to the market. At this time, I believe that SPY was looking kind of weak on the lower time frames. And I came down to NDX just to kind of see the market was looking kind of weak. So at first of all, because someone be like, well, Jay, why didn't you take it on any of these rejections? Well, first of all, let's say that we were to draw the bear flag at those rejections, right? A bear flag wouldn't have made sense too far right there, right? It wouldn't have made full on sense right there. It could have, but honestly, I like more candles in my bear flag. And also the market wasn't, that's too steep for me, right? I don't like stuff like that. So for me, I wouldn't even have took it anyway. And also I'm paying attention to the market. Remember, the whole time that I'm taking these trades, I'm looking at how the market is reacting. This particular day, I believe that SPY was acting a little weak. It wasn't really, the market was kind of weak. Like, it wasn't trying to push higher. We were rejecting on those lower time frames. It really just wasn't trying to break, right? So at that time, it's already, we couldn't run calls. So that's why I'm looking for any type of pattern. And also this particular pattern, I didn't even see this until the day that it happened, right? I literally didn't even notice. Actually, it was my first time trading NDX. I had never traded NDX. I was just looking because I didn't want to trade QQQ. I'm always trading XPX. So I wanted to look at the XPX of QQQ, basically, so it's NDX, right? So then that's what made me took this trade. So you want to just pay attention to how the market is acting. I'm not a fundamentals person. I suck at fundamentals. So I'm literally just paying attention to price action. This particular day, we were having trouble breaking above, on anything. We were having trouble breaking any levels on the market in general. So that gave me indication that, okay, this is actually a bear flag. We can actually fall, if that kind of helps your question. But I actually got in on this candle. I got in on this daily candle. Yes, I did. I got in on this daily candle because I was going to swing it. I was going to swing. That was the whole thing. I was going to swing it. I don't be afraid to take stuff on these daily candles, guys. This is my swing trading strategy. Most of the time, if I'm swing trading, I am using the daily time frame to swing trade. Maybe the lowest I go is the 4-hour. How far above resistance are you setting your stop loss? So now, I have two different types of stop losses. I have a mental stop loss and I also have a hard stop loss. So most of the time, if I'm day trading, I'm using a hard stop, right? So like, let's say that I'm buying SPY calls at $100 per contract, then my stop loss might be at $90 per contract. Those are when I'm day trading. Those are when I'm using hard stops. As far as swings trading, I'm actually using mental stops, right? I'm actually watching it. The reason why is because it's on the daily time frame. So a lot can happen on those lower time frames, right? We might have a wick above that level. We might have a couple 5-minute candles above that level. So right here, I'm just kind of eyeballing it, watching it, using a mental stop loss, understanding that this is a swing trade, and I did take it intraday. So this could take a minute to play out. So it's kind of little things that help me as far as stop losses. But generally, my stop loss is normally 20%, 20, 25%. But I normally don't have like an actual percentage kind of stop loss. The reason why is I want to pay attention to the charts. And the reason why my entries are the way they are is so I don't get stopped out that quickly, if that makes sense. And I can show y'all more examples of that at a later time. but that's normally how I'm trading. I don't normally do percentage stop losses unless I'm day trading. Now, as far as risk to reward, guys, I do have a risk to reward video on YouTube if you want to watch that. Kind of just how I grow my accounts or whatever. But generally, what I like to do is my rule of thumb is to never use more than 10% per trade. I know people say 1%, but guys, I like to be so realistic with people. Like, I'm just being honest. Like, a lot of people don't really, understand that 1% is hard as hell. Like, if you got $1,000 account, using 1% of that, what is that, like $10? So, that's kind of hard to tell somebody, oh, only use 1% of your account per trade, right? When in reality, we know most people are not going to do that. And I'm being honest with you guys, I don't even do that. So my rule of thumb is not using more than 10% of your account. But also there are times where if I see a very good setup, I'm okay with adding more size, but I understand that risk. Yeah. Also, another thing is somebody asked me about my stop loss. Plus, understand this, guys. The way I trade, I'm buying the contracts at a lower price. So when a stock does pull back, it does not hurt me as much because I already put a lower size. I already bought the contracts way cheaper, if that makes sense, right? I've already bought the contracts way cheaper. So if I do go red, it don't hurt as bad. That's why if y'all ever notice, I don't think people notice. Look at if you go in the profits chat today, you notice that my Amazon win was a lot bigger than my XPX loss. And the reason why is simply because of the way I trade. My wins are bigger than my losses, and it's because of the way I trade, right? If I'm going to take a loss, it's going to be a small loss all the time. It's going to be a small loss most of the time because I'm buying those contracts cheaper. So the loss is going to be smaller versus if I'm buying the contracts cheaper and the stock runs my way, those wins are going to be bigger. Yeah, get what I'm saying? So it's all about like the way you want to structure your strategy. I've been trading for 2.5 years. I haven't been trading as long as Lawrence. To swing weeklies. So how I do weeklies is people always ask me about, anytime I do something with Chai, people always ask me about weeklies. So my rule of thumb with weeklies is if it's Monday, I'll take a weekly. If it's Tuesday, I'll take a weekly. If it's Wednesday, that's where I get a little like trying to decide if I want a weekly or not. But if it's like after Wednesday, I'm gonna take next week expo. Are your trades weekly or do you put time on them? I trade weeklies. There's very rare if I trade a monthly. And the reason why, like, for example, I'm gonna tell y'all a good story real quick, and I'm gonna let y'all go. A good story was my first, I took a monthly, right? It was square puts. I never forget this day. And I took it with Lawrence, right? It was, I think me, Lawrence, and Shine, we had 6 square puts. And they took monthlies, right? And I never forget, I had put like 15,000, and we knew Square was gonna drop. I promise y'all, we knew Square was gonna drop. We knew it. We literally tag teamed that stock. We knew it was gonna drop. I kid you not, Square had dropped like $8, bro. Square had dropped like $8. The weekly contracts were up like 400%. And the contracts we had were only up like 20%. I was so mad because we knew it was going to drop that day, but I was just so mad because if I would have risked, I put like 15K in that trade, I believe, and only made 20% of that. But if I had put it in that weekly, like using my same strategy that I use on that monthly, I would have literally made about, almost $80,000, right? So then at that point, I was just like, you know what, monthlies are not for me, but it could be for everybody else. The thing about monthlies is, I will be honest though, the thing about monthlies is the losses don't be as bad, you know what I mean? But like I said, the way I've structured my trading, the weeklies don't hurt me as well either though. Like, but at first, when I first started trading weeklies, I used to get burnt all the time. Until I found out how to actually trade them, right? There's a certain way. You can't trade. I mean, you can trade weekly breakouts, whatever. But for me, I don't like trading breakouts because of that. If I'm using a weekly, I'd rather wait on, I'm an all type of retest anticipation type of trader. So it allowed me to be able to trade weeklies the way I do. Yeah, that's all my strategy is. Now, indicators that I use, people be asking me, I use the 9 EMA. I'm gonna type this real quick. Not really. The only time I use them is like for golden crosses and stuff like that. I don't know if y'all know what that is. Do y'all know what golden crosses is? 9 EMA. Okay, as long as I know what that is, y'all are good. The only time I use that, I use the 9 and the 21 EMA. These are the only EMAs that I use. I don't use nothing else. These are the only ones that I use is the 9 and 21 EMA. Normally, I'm just looking for, confirmation to hold. One of my favorite strategies, I'm going to just give y'all one of my favorite. I document every trade that I take. This one has had the highest success rate. This literally has about a 90% success rate, is the 9 EMA bounce on a daily time frame. This strategy is money. Every time I do it, it works. Like, not every time, but let me be transparent. 90% of the time I use the 9 EMA bounce, that's money. That is money most of the time. Let me give y'all the example. Real quick. Hold on. Settings. Okay. I'm trying to find y'all a good one. Was this the beginning of the year? Yep. Okay. So just quick transparency. This is I wouldn't call this a risky trade, but this is what I'm talking about, right? So this trade right here, this is my very first trade of the year. This was a swing trade. I'm about to show y'all. This was a $57,000 trade. I'm not going to lie to you guys. This is probably one of the trades that I put a lot of size in. I put about 40,000 in this trade, something like that. I put some big number in this trade. It was like 40,000 or 50. Was it 50,000? But this is 100% But I just wanted to kind of show y'all what I did. So what I did was, first of all, remember I said understand impulsive moves, corrections, and then impulse, right? So what I did was at the beginning of the year, I noticed that, right before the year started, I wanted to start off the year with a big trade, right? So I resetted my account to 50K for the beginning of the year, kind of close towards the end. And pretty much what day was this? Right before whatever it was, I bought it on this. This was the candle that I bought it on, right? The 9 EMA. And I pretty much swung 50K into the next year, right? So as you can see, we had an impulsive move right here. Then we had that correction. And what comes after correction, guys? What comes after correction? Impulse, correction, and what else? Impulse, right? So here we go. We got this 9 EMA. I'm signaling to everybody. I'm like, hey, we're about to swing Apple calls into the new year, because we did buy Apple calls before we bought Apple calls on this candle. That was 12/31, right? So we swung it into the new year, right? And I swung over $50,000 in this trade, and I made $57,000 on this trade, and I'm showing you how I did it. So we bought the 9 EMA bounce. Boom, we literally bought it on this candle, swung it to the next day. Well, not next day, but the third. That's when the market opened up again, and boom, we were up. Apple was then whatever. We took profits at that high, and there you go. This is another example. So that 9 EMA bounce, I'm not gonna lie to y'all guys, is money. I love the 9 EMA bounce. Here go another example. We took Apple calls again. We had this one was a little harder, but that's why I say this is a prime example of why I say take profits at the high, right? So here we have another bull flag, right? We have another bull flag. Price target is this high. Boom. We bought it at that 9 EMA, rolled it up, took profits again. It's just 2 times that I used that 9 EMA bounce, right? This is the daily. I only do this on a daily time frame. Now, there are times where I will, if I'm day trading, I will do a 9 EMA bounce on the 15-minute time frame. But my swing trading, I'm only doing this on a daily time frame. I literally wait for setups like this to happen. I'm very patient when it comes to this, right? The 9 EMA, this blue line right here, this is my 9 EMA. Every time I get it, I'm looking for a bull flag on the 9 EMA, and I always take this trade every time. Same thing with bear flags. Let me show y'all another trade that we took with bear flags, right? A 9 EMA rejection with a bear flag. Here we got, that wasn't that pretty, but here go one. Right here, we had an impulsive move down, correction into the 9 EMA, took the break here, rolled it down. You see what I'm saying? Right, we're using a non-EMA, right? Rejected again, came here, broke it down, right? So that's one of the things that I'm doing. We had another one right here. We had a impulse to move down, bear flag into the non-EMA, rolled it down. It's literally one of the things that I like to do. This probably was for class. This wasn't that pretty. I didn't take that. But that's one of my things. So 9 EMA bounces on a daily time frame. I love those type of setups. There's little bitty setups. Like I can go on all day about different setups that I take. But generally the rule of thumb is to find what works for you and just take your trades that way, right? Find out what works for you guys. But these are the indicators that I use. I normally only use this. Right now, I've been kind of incorporating the stochastics indicator back into my trading strategy. This is a day trading indicator for me. So what I like to do is I look for golden crosses on those as well to kind of give me that extra confirmation. But overall, that's pretty much it, guys. That's pretty much my classes actually be, so I did do it, and I'm not here to say I know product or nothing. Definitely just trying to get out some game. I do have a mentorship that I be doing. I don't have any more spots available, so that's why I just do these like free classes or whatever. But yeah, that's normally what my classes be, and then I post them on YouTube. But actually for you guys, I'm actually going to do something because I'm really, Lawrence is like, you know, my guy. For you guys, what I can start doing is I can actually just start sending you guys the links so you can come to classes and pretty much do it from there. My YouTube is I don't post like, okay, so my YouTube videos, it's only like, I think it's only like 3 of them that you can actually see because there are enlisted for the mentorship, but I can definitely send you guys, for Lawrence, I definitely send you guys the links to kind of just the classes that I do. This is my YouTube, and I'm gonna send the links as well. But for you guys, I'll go ahead and do that for you, just to kind of help you guys up. So actually, somebody asked when are my mentorships. So I'm just being honest with you guys. I am kind of done with mentorships after this time. What I kind of want to do is I kind of just wanted to, moving forward, I kind of just wanted to like just do free classes every time, because I'm not gonna lie, the mentorships are definitely draining, just because like you're teaching people that don't really know much, and you got some people that don't take it serious, they waste your time. So what I do is now is whenever I have free time, I just do like I'm gonna just be doing free classes, because I'm actually going to be going to flight school a little bit soon here. So I'm going to be doing that. So I'm not going to really have much time to really do like a full-on mentorship. But after flight school, I can get back into doing it. So that was kind of one things that I want to do as becoming a trader. I always said once I start making enough money in trading, I was going to go pay for flight school. So we're here now. 2 years later, I am where I want to be. And so now I'm going to just go to flight school. Thank you. Thank you. So any more questions? I want to be a helicopter pilot. So here it goes. Yeah, I want to do like commercial or something, like just temporary. Like I'm trying to retire by 35. I'm trying to retire by 35. Do everything. I'm trying to get everything done by 35. So I want to fly until I'm at least 35. And pilots get about 250 days off a year. So I'm still able to trade as well. So I thought that was beneficial. They have a lot of downtime. So that was one of the things. Also, real quick, one of the things that helped me become profitable, I wouldn't say quickly, but I've definitely been able to do all of this in literally 2 years, 2.5 years. And one of the things that helped me was understanding the psychology behind trading, guys, because this is a mental game. I'm telling you that right now. Trading, when people understand that, like, yes, I can teach anybody to learn charts, right? I can literally teach anybody whatever they need to know about charts, whatever strategies they need to know to make them money, but I can't help you if you don't get your mindset together, right? You have to understand that trading is a mindset game, right? Once you understand that, then you will start seeing the money come in, right? How many of you guys have actually paper traded and you a damn millionaire on your paper trading account, but then as soon as you put the real money doing the same exact thing you did on the paper trading account, you still lose money, right? I have this happen so many times where people literally tell me, Jay, I I can grow my paper trading account. Like, I mean, it be growing. Like, I'm a millionaire on my paper trading account. But as soon as I put the same exact money into the real, like as soon as I use real money, I blow my account. And this is because the only difference that what they have with paper trading is the emotions, the mindset. So one of the things that I tell my mentees, which one of my mentees is, I mean, perfect with this, he actually paper trades and trade his real account at the same time, but he's using, like, he's paying attention to his, like, in a way, he's paying attention to his paper trading account, right? He's paying attention to his paper trading account. This has allowed him to kind of help his emotions. Now, I don't know if that's going to work for everybody, but he do that, and he's been seeing his account grow a lot by doing that, right? Because he does it that way. I don't know if that might help. That's a quick little gem. Another little gem that I do is, he paper trade first. Another gem that I do is I always put my max loss. So like right now, as we speak, right now, I got $5,000 in cash on my trading desk. So whenever I'm trading, I'm looking at that cash. Whenever I say I don't want to cut a loss, I don't want to do that, I'm looking at that cash to kind of remind myself that this is real money. I think sometimes that people, when they start trading, they start looking at their brokerage account that it's not real money, right? They start looking at it, it's not real money. I literally leave the cash on my desk. So it reminds me that this is real money. Like, you need to realize that this is not no video game. This money that you're in, this is real money. So this helped me. Anything that helps me emotionally, like with my mindset, I'm willing to do it, right? That's one of the things that has helped me tremendously. If I'm in a trade and I know damn well the reason why I got in is no longer valid, and I try to tell, like, a lot of myself to hold, I'm looking at that cash in front of me, I'm like, this is real money. Let me go ahead and cut this trade, and I'll live the trade another day, right? So anything that you can do to help you mentally, that's things that you got to do, right? They ain't scared to lose that paper money. Yeah, they ain't scared. That's the thing. The people ain't scared to lose that paper money. They know that you're gonna reset it. You got to treat your main account just like that. If I think about how it's real money after that, after the recent loss I took, I might never trade again. Yeah, but also you gotta understand, like, it take money to make money, right? And trading, like, it's hard, but at the same time, you can make it simple. I'm never gonna say you can make it easy, because it's never gonna be easy. It's a constant battle with your mind. Like, it's a constant battle, right? Also, what you want to do is you want to make a trading plan, right? You want to make a trading plan. I can see y'all minds. Excuse my language for my trading plan, but I can see y'all minds. But one of the things is I noticed, and also journal your trades, is when you journal your trades, you can kind of tell why you're losing and what's making you lose, right? The reason I was noticing, like, one time, bro, like, I had this addiction with earnings, bro. Like, bro, I literally was giving up so much real money to trying to trade earnings. Like, I literally, my very first earnings was UPS, and I had won like $2,000 off of, like, I think like $100 or whatever. And I was just feeling myself. I mean, you couldn't tell me nothing. Then my next earning was Nike. I put $1,000 into Nike and I made $14,000. So at that point, I'm just like, earnings is the way to go. So I kept trying to play earnings. And literally, I noticed I was losing more than I was winning on earnings. And I'm just like looking back at all the money I didn't lost on earnings. And that's when I noticed, like, hey, if you just stop trading earnings, you will save such and such amount of dollars, right? So then when I started doing that, I started, started seeing more money in my account. Then it was just like little things that I'm picking up. One of the things that I hate, which it might be cool for y'all, I hate trading the open. I get burnt every time I trade the open. I get burnt every single time. So at some point, guys, you have to realize that you must be, it's kind of insane to keep doing the same things and expecting different results. That's literally with anything in life. You're doing the same thing and expecting different results. I literally keep trading I keep trading the open. I literally keep trading the open, and I keep getting the same results. I might win, maybe sometimes I might win, but overall, I lose. So what I did now, I stopped trading the open. And once I stopped trading the open, literally the winnings start to increase. Like little bitty changes that you make can really make a huge difference on your trading, right? I stopped trading the open. I stopped trading earnings. Okay, boom. Now I'm starting to have $50,000 weeks, starting to have those bigger weeks, right? I'm starting to have those bigger months. I'm starting to have more green days. And it was simply for me making minor adjustments, for me journaling my trades. Another thing was that I'm so glad that I was journaling my trades, because I never knew this. I have been trying to trade rising wedges. I don't know if y'all know what pattern that is. I suck at rising wedges. No matter what, I lose. I only won twice on a rising wedge. I don't know what it is. That pattern I always lose on. So as soon as I stopped trading that pattern, I started making way more money. And that's what I'm saying, guys. You have to really see what what doesn't work and what does work, and focus on the things that work and cancel out the things that don't work. It's that simple. Like, people keep doing the same thing. I also noticed breakouts. That was one. That's really, I want to know why I don't trade breakouts, because when I kept losing money on them, because every time, like I used to tell RJ this all the time, bruh, every time I traded a breakout, it always pulled back and I end up losing money. So what did I do? I stopped trading breakouts, right? I'd rather ride the retest than the breakout. And then once I started doing that, it started increasing, guys. So you have to understand, stop doing things that don't work. Stop. If it don't work for you, it might work for others. I know Shine trade breakouts all the time. Perfectly fine, right? It don't work for me. My mind can't trade breakouts, so I don't like them, right? So you just have to do what works for you. Stop trying to mimic other traders. Do what works for you. Like I said, monthlies don't work for me, so I don't do monthlies. Breakouts don't work for me. Rising wedges don't work out for me. None of that worked for me. So I'm gonna only do what works for me, right? Trading, it has to be a thing. And that's one thing I do like about Lawrence, is because he has, the way he created his chat was, this isn't, if y'all really know, this is not a signals chat. If y'all notice, Lawrence is actually trying to teach you guys how to become traders on your own, right? And that's one thing that I love, is people that come in here and they learn how to trade on their own, because can't nobody signal you your way to riches. You can sit up here, I'm telling you right now, you can sit up here and sit next to me every single day. I had this happen in person. You can sit here next to me every single day, take the exact same trades, and I still can come out profitable, but you still can be negative on the year. Why? It's because we are two different traders. We have two different mindsets. Number one, a good example of this, and I'm not trying to discourage you from taking anybody trades, right? The way it works is, the way you want to do it is, you want to look at traders that are actually making money. This is what I'm just showing you what I did. You can take it if you want to take it. I looked at traders that I liked, right? I liked the way Lawrence were. I liked the way Sean was. I even liked the way RJ was, right? And I looked at how they took a trade, why they took a trade, what did they do, what was their thought process, and then I kind of incorporated into how I would have liked it, right? I started incorporating things that worked for me. Then I built in my own type of strategy, right? So that's what you're supposed to do. Take things that you learn the things, and then take what works for you, right? And that's literally how I grew my strategy. Nobody can signal you to success, right? You have to learn how to trade on your own. Yeah. Everybody got their own style. What tools, resources help? Okay. So the question was, what tools, resources helped me with the psychology portion? So one of the things that helped me was trading in the zone. That was number one. Second, it's a trader that I actually like. His name is, I'm gonna send y'all his Instagram. He's huge on psychology, and just watching his like little YouTube gems. I mean, not YouTube, his little what is it? His little just post on Instagram. He's definitely a psychology kind of coach, kind of person. His name is Rake Trades. I'm gonna put it in here. I don't know if y'all know who he is, but he's great as far as trader psychology and just like little gems that he be posting. Rake Trades, I like him. And also I'll read a lot about decision making, like as far as like articles about decision making, just psychology, stuff like that, like building good habits. I read a lot of stuff like that. Because now I'm not gonna lie to you guys, now I'm to a point where I trust my strategy. I'm confident in how I trade. So now when I say that I'm studying for something, I'm not on the charts anymore. I'm studying psychology. I'm studying mindset things. I'm studying dealing with being under pressure, right? One of the things that I was reading recently was how fighter jets deal with being under pressure. I'm studying things like that. I want to get my mindset to a point where I'm able to take these trades with the least amount of emotion, right? Because at the same time, people are like, oh, you can't have emotions in trading. Guys, we're human beings. We have emotions. This is our money on the line, right? So that's the things that I'm studying. I'm studying psychology. I'm trying to master my mindset. That's literally what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to master my mind. So that's what I study now. One of the books that I'm reading right now that relates to trading so well is Atomic Habits. If you haven't read it, I got a free PDF file that you can use. Atomic Habits relates to trading so much. It's crazy. It's crazy how like it relates to trading so much, right? Like I think one of the things that it said was people focus more on goals, but not a system. And that is so true. Like that is so true. People focus more on, oh, I want to be a six-figure trader, but you don't have a system in place to actually beat it. Because understand, everybody had the same goals. An unsuccessful trader and a pro trader, they all got the same exact goals of being a six-figure, seven-figure trader, right? But the only difference is one of them have a system and the other does not, right? It's called Atomic Habits. I got a PDF file. I'm gonna send it in the chat so if you don't have the book. And I bought the book. It was like $13 at Walmart. I don't know. Yeah, you can listen to an audio book. I physically like reading the book. I'm not a really big fan of audio books, but if you like audio books, you can as well. But that relates to trading so much. And the reason why is building, good habits 1% at a time. Those small changes make a huge difference. Do you do any spread? Nope, I don't do any spread strategies. Not at the moment. I still am learning. Like I'm being real transparent with you guys. I'm still learning debit spreads and credit spreads still. That's one thing that I'm still learning. So I don't do any of those yet, but I did want to get into it. For me, honestly, guys, the new stuff that I'm learning now is just to help people with small accounts. They call me a small account advocate. Like I love helping people with small accounts grow their accounts. That's kind of my specialty. I love, like, if you got a small account, I just love helping small accounts, grow their accounts. But yes, it's author James Clear. Yeah, I'm a small account advocate. So I heard debit spreads help with small accounts. So that's something that I'm looking into for people with small accounts. I personally did not need that. So trying to kind of give you a background, I'm not gonna say I know fake story. I started my trading journey with about $2,000, and I was constantly funding my account. So I'm not about to sit up here and say like, oh, I grew my account from $150 to six figures. Not trying to troll nobody, but no, I definitely was funding my account. I was working at Quick Trip. I don't know if you guys know what Quick Trip is. I was working at a gas station. We got paid every Wednesday. As you know, I'm 22 years old, so I was pretty young, so I didn't have much responsibility. So honestly, I was just I literally lived with my mom and stuff like that. So I was putting all my money that I was making from work in the market. And I know I have people that always say like, well, I can't do that. I'm just telling you my story on what I did. I literally was working like, I ain't gonna lie, it was weeks where I was working like 77 hours and I was just putting every single dollar that I had into the stock market. And one of the things I like to tell people is I had a Camaro at the time, right? I had it was like $700 a month, bro. Like that interest rate on that Camaro was like 22%. And it was crazy. Like I was literally paying $700 for a Camaro. And when I found about trading, I was like, you know what? Like I don't really make that much money. And a lot of my money is going to this stupid car. So I literally was telling myself, hey, if I just get rid of this car, that's an extra $700 a month I can have to put in my trading account. So quick transparency, I had to car got repossessed or whatever. And yeah, that's kind of how I had that extra capital. And I literally would just put everything I had in the market, studying, learning, just everything. I just literally gave it all I had. Like I literally just gave trading all that I had. I wanted to do something from home. I didn't want to like work for nobody. And I pretty much just gave trading my all. And that was a big thing at a young age. I had people talking about me like, oh, you got your car repossessed, this and that. And I don't think people understand why I did that though. I did it so I can have a better life. So fast forward now, I have 3 cars. I have a Tesla. I just bought a Trackhawk, and I also have a 2022 Kia. So as you can see, I was able to make those sacrifices in the beginning to get to where I'm at today. So that's kind of like my little story. It is what it is. So that's pretty much like my story. Not trying to say I know fake dream. Yes, now I do have the people that's going to say, oh, Jay, you do have a Discord. Actually, to tell y'all the truth, I actually was hired as an admin, kind of like how RJ is in the chat here. I was hired as an admin in another chat. I was just in another chat, kind of just trying to learn. My whole process was I literally just joined every single chat to learn from them. I wasn't there to take signals. I was literally there to see why this person did this, why this person did that. Why I probably spent about in my whole entire life, I probably spent like $30,000 on just learning material or finding to learn from different traders and just seeing what they do. So one of the chats that I was in, I was like calling like little plays in like the little member section. And then I actually got hired as a admin. So I actually never had my own Discord or even did that, like, because a lot of people actually not trying to put them right down, but a lot of these traders that you see, they got a lot of money from just their Discord, and that's how they got money. No, me, I literally started up, like by the time I actually was even an admin of a Discord, I had already had 6 figures. So I don't have my own Discord, if everybody be wondering that. I don't, right? I'm a trader. This is how I make my living. This is how I make my income. I'm a trader. This is it. This is how I did it. Okay, so the next question is, how long did it take before you were consistently profitable? So I will be honest, it didn't take me long, simply because it took me about 8 months. And the reason why it didn't take me long was because for you guys, you might be thinking 8 months, but I was like sundown. Like I was putting in that time. Like I was literally like 16 hours. I mean, I actually had lost my job at the time after I was putting all that money in the market. And I was just like doing little Instacarts, little Uber Eats or whatever, anything that I could do to fund my trading account. Like my whole process was fund your trading account. Then I finally had my big break, because as you can see, every story, we all have our trades that changed our life, right? That's kind of how it worked. My trade that changed my life was Tesla. I had made $44,000 on Tesla, changed my life, right? All that work finally paid off. All that work finally paid off. And then I had made $44,000 on Tesla. And pretty much I used that and I started paying myself. So I made $44,000 on Tesla. I took half of it out, put it in my bank account, gave me a cushion. And then I was able to focus solely on trading. So then I had 25,000. I used that 25,000. I grew that 25,000 to, I think, 108 or 102,000 or whatever. Once I hit that, I withdrew it again, reset it back at 25,000. So I started building cushions in my bank account. But keep this though, I never inflated my lifestyle. I never tried to live above my means, because when I started making that money, I started having people say, well, you need to go buy this, you still ain't got a car, you need to go do this. Like, nah, I waited until I was comfortable enough to actually, then I start using my money and buying stuff. And that's why you started to see me buying stuff now. And that was the key. The key was delayed gratification. So it took me about 8 months, but I was studying every time that I had. Matter of fact, actually, when I did have little side jobs, I always got a job that had downtime. I don't know if everybody else can do that, but just telling you what I did, I always looked for jobs that had downtime. If any job that I had downtime in, I did like a little hotel thing. That none of my jobs last long at all anyway, because I was starting making some nice money in the market, and it was kind of hard to keep them jobs. I ain't gonna lie to you. My last day of working was what was my last day? I think I had hit like $8,000 on AMC, and I just said, I'm out. I walked clean out that job. I was literally in the middle of helping somebody, and I walked clean out that job. I literally did not work ever again. I haven't worked since I had hit that 8,000 on AMC. I was looking at my checks. I was like, I ain't gonna lie, it ain't no point of being here no more. I looked at them, and the crazy part, they knew I was trading, right? They knew what I was doing, and because I was telling everybody at the job, I'm like, hey, put this in AMC, it look like it's gonna go. I was working with a lady, and then my homeboys they was blowing my phone up. They was like, J, AMC. So I was like, I was in the middle of working with a lady, and I was like, hold on, I gotta check something real quick. I checked my phone. I kid y'all not. I was in the middle of working with that lady. I seen that $8,000. Boy, I sold Well, I walked clean out that job. I literally walked clean out that job. I did not ever look back. I never looked back to that job ever again. And there you go. I have never worked ever again. I haven't had a job in so long now. So yeah, so they probably mad at me and stuff like that. I tried to go up there the other day to buy something and they was looking at me crazy. Oh, somebody said, oh, I'm glad somebody said this. They said I've done that a time or two. I ain't gonna lie. I definitely quit my job a couple of times. Well, the first job that I quit was I was working at CarMax. I kept Quick Trip for a minute, but I was working at CarMax and I had hit like, I think like 3,000 on UPS. And then I walked out and then I ended up taking a huge loss like a week later. And then I went and got another job. And I literally was I had quit probably like 3 times. Like I just like, cause I kept, it's like every time I quit, I end up having a loss that'll just make me rethink why I just quit. So I go get another job. And remember, this is all within a 2.5 year thing. Like I did all of this, like, bro, y'all should have seen my 2020 tax returns. I had to get like 9 W-2s, like literally, like I had like hella jobs in 2020 because of that. Like I just kept quitting jobs, going back, quitting jobs, going back, quitting jobs, going back until I can officially, you know, become where I don't have to do it no more. But yeah, so that's kind of my story. So if if you're anywhere in life, guys, understand that I'm telling you right now, if I can do it, you can, and fast forward, like I'm able to. It was just a grind. That's all trading was, and it's still a grind to this day. Like it's still a grind to this day, right? But definitely, like if you feel like you're not in a position, you feel like you can't be successful in trading, guys, understand that it will come. You just have to put in that time. Like, I'm really telling you, like it's all about putting in time. If you got to keep funding your account, that's fine. So my bad. I didn't even tell you what I did in the 8 months. So in the 8 months, number one, YouTube was my best friend, YouTube University. I wanted to know, but one thing that separated me from most people that started like recently was I never wanted to learn from somebody that started right away. Like, because most time on YouTube, you will see a lot of those traders on YouTube, like their videos started maybe a year ago. And most of them started like a year ago. So I never wanted to learn from any trader that started a couple of years ago. I wanted somebody that's been in the game for a minute. So that's kind of where like I was looking at traders like back then, very old videos like 7 years ago. Like I want to understand what kept them in the game for so long. And that was where I first started. I wanted to see what kept them in the game for so long. My favorite trader, no, I'm not gonna lie. My favorite trader wasn't in the game that long, right? I'm not even gonna lie. My favorite person that taught me the most was, his name is Mir. I don't know if you guys know Kevin Trades or anything, but Mir, he was I can see on his Instagram as well. He be having like little gems on Instagram. Now he wasn't trading that long, but that, I'm not gonna lie, his style kind of helped me the most. No, it's let me see. Hold on, let me find Mir. I don't even know how to pronounce this. Somebody asked me, am I trade contracts? No, that's Jay the Trader. No, that's the bro. He helped me as well. I was gonna get to him next. That's his name on Instagram. Right there, I just put it in there. So he helped me a lot. As far as like trading, just like seeing how they like to trade. He has a hedge fund now, so he actually don't do any retail trading anymore. But that, like, at the time I was able to like learn from people like him. I trade contracts as Jay the Trader as well. I love his story. His story is kind of similar to mine, a little more aggressive. But yeah, so those are people that I like. Mir, Jay the Trader. I have some other people on YouTube. I gotta find the videos that I used to watch, but stuff like that. Then I was just like, I got into Lawrence chat, like just seeing where he comes. Lawrence been trading for a couple of years now, kind of seeing like what he sees, how he do it. Aristotle, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Aristotle definitely, he's definitely a great person for it. I'm not dissing nobody. Aristotle is definitely a great person for beginners. Like he's very beginner friendly. Like if you knew the options trading, I've never learned from Aristotle, but I've had plenty of mentees. I had over 329 people that I have trained trading, and I'm not gonna lie, 90% of them come from Aristotle, and I think he makes a lot of beginner friendly videos. So as far as like advanced strategies, I didn't really see it. No, I'm tapped out. I'm like I said, I'm gonna still do free videos for y'all though. I still could do like these little classes. I could just send y'all the link. But one of the persons from Aristotle group that I do like is Unraveler. That he's with Aristotle. That's the actual person that I like. He's probably, not gonna lie, definitely one of the best traders I've seen in our generation. Not gonna lie, I don't know how the hell Unraveler do it. Somebody said Amazon is moving. My bad, y'all. I didn't keep y'all all this time. I didn't even make no trade. Oh, damn. See, I said eventually it's gonna go there. If eventually, it wants that 2,500 today. They be thinking I'm crazy picking these out the money contracts. Look, 2,500. So I actually I took Amazon. So I took the trade here. I actually got my entry points right here. I took it on this wick just really quickly because I did take Amazon today. I went against my rules. Luckily, I made it out alive. I would have waited for it to kind of stay above here, but I actually took it earlier. I was looking at these wicks right here, so I took it at that next wick as a wick below, and then I sold as soon as it broke back above. I was trying to get it to go here, but it couldn't go, so I went ahead and just sold into strength. But as you can see, Amazon now, this is the level that we wanted it to break above. It broke above, held that next level, held that 21 EMA, and now it's just riding up, right? So we had a little ugly price action going on. Impulsive move, correction. And now we breaking up and going up. So that 2,500 ain't too crazy. It's right there. That's the next level that Amazon can go to, is 2,500. Yeah. Okay, so next question was, somebody asked me, am I trading the same stocks? Yes, I do. I trade Amazon now. The reason why, guys, I don't use scanners, by the way, as well. My bad if I didn't mention that earlier. I do not use scanners. I hate scanners. I feel more confident in just building a watch list and just trading your watch list. I'm not a big fan of scanners, if that makes sense. I'm not a big fan of scanners at all, actually. I rather just create a watch list. My watch list is actually on my Instagram. My Instagram is JSLA Trades. And it's like 30 fake pages right now. So it's just literally the one. I'm gonna just show you. It's this one. So, and I'll send another example. This is my Instagram. It's so many fake pages, guys, but that's my Instagram. I'm gonna post more training content soon. I never heard of full auto. Yep, be careful, guys. Fake pages will hit you up. That is not me. I will never DM you first. Honestly, guys, like I tell people that be falling for it, like I had somebody give the scammer $3,000 using my name. So understand, guys, I never will ask you for money. These scammers are wild. So, okay, one major key to growing a small account. So one major key to growing a small account, and I'm gonna tell people this, like this is one of the things that helped me grow a small account. Cut losers short, let winners run. The problem with small accounts, guys, is a lot of small accounts try to take profit as soon as they see it. That is a problem. That is a problem. As you can see, one of the examples that I use to grow on it, look on my Instagram, you can go look, and I put it in the chat a while ago. But one of the things on my Instagram was I put down my stop losses, but everybody was asking me, well, Jay, what is your profit target? That's the problem. I don't know. I don't have a profit target. I'm using the charts. So let's say that I took Amazon calls, right? Every time it hits my level, I'm either taking some profits or I'm letting it run. But if my general target is 2,500, this is my target for today, 2,500, right? So most of the time, I'm going to let my winner run to 2,500, right? And that's how I'm really able to catch those higher percent gains, because when you got a small account, you have to let it run. You have to get that money. You have to let it run, right? If you keep taking profits so early, you're going to be missing out on opportunity. I know people say, I don't know what Lawrence have taught y'all, so I don't want to discourage anything that he taught y'all, because like I said, Lawrence is a great trader. But one of the things that I do is Profit is not profit. And I say this, and people might take it how they want to take it. Profit is not profit. That's how I look at it. It's not profit. You're missing a lot of opportunity costs. You did all this work. You did all this charting. You took the trade. You accepted the risk. Why not get paid for your work? That's literally my mindset of it. I didn't took the risk. I didn't took the trade. I didn't did all this work. Why not get paid for my work? I'm letting my winners run. I'm letting the stock market create me some income, especially for small accounts. This is crucial to letting your account grow. Let it grow, right? If you would have said like right here, we took this little bull flag break right here, you know, pull back, we would have took profits here. That's fine, right? We took profits. But if your initial plan was to hold it to this next target, hold it, right? Now, if it break back below, cut the trade, but let it run, guys. Get used to letting stuff run. That was actually when people asked me, you know, why was Mir one of the people that I liked the most that taught me, right? One of the things that I liked the most was he literally said, like, one time we was trading, right? And one of the things he said was, I was like, I remember we was in the same, I'll never forget, we was in the same trade, right? We was in Amazon calls. This is a while ago. We was in Amazon calls, and I had took profits at, actually it's on his page. It's actually on his page. I had took profits. I think I had made like $8,000 or whatever. And I had took profits. And then he went ahead and made like $400,000, right? And I ain't gonna lie, we pretty much had the similar size in there. But I took profits because I was looking at my P&L and ever. And one of the things that he said to me that stuck with me literally as throughout my whole entire trader journey was, why the F did you take profits? I mean, he said, did the chart tell you to take profits? I said, no. I said, actually, the chart said we got more upside. He was like, so why the F did you take profits? Like, I mean, don't get me wrong, get used to trimming. Like, we do trim, but why are you selling if the charts never told you to sell? Use the charts, right? Right now, Amazon is telling me that it's going to 2,500. It's holding 9 EMA. It's above the 9 EMA. It's above that next level. If I were to take profits here, if I'm still in runners, my stop loss will be if it breaks back below this level, right? So right now, Amazon is still telling me to hold. It's not telling me to sell. I don't care if it's a red candle. The only time I'm going to cut is if it come back below here and just take my profits, right? But right now, it's telling me to still hold this trade to 2,500. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to let it run to 2,500. And people are like, well, Jay, I can take profits here, and then if it come back here, da, da, da. Look, you're not a machine. You're not going to catch the whole move. You're not going to have computer-like X's or entries, right? Understand, if we took this bull flag here, we took our first profits here, always want to take it at that level, then let them run, boom, broke again, taking profits again. You're still in runners. There we go. We still holding. My runners are now invalid. Because remember, the reason why I'm still holding, this is why I tell people, the reason why I'm still holding is because it broke above this level. So that's the reason why I'm still holding. So now what will make me cut if that reason is no longer valid again? So what will make Amazon runners no longer valid is if the reason why I got in is no longer valid, which is above this 2474 level. So if it breaks back below this level, I will go ahead and cut my runners and move on. But until it breaks back below that level, I'm going to hold because my next target is 2,500, right? And that is how I like to trade. I like to let my winners run, right? Get paid for my work. So that's one of the things I have for small accounts. Also, never YOLO your whole entire account, guys. Don't ever YOLO your whole entire account. People get a habit of YOLOing their accounts. Guys, look, trade with normal size so that way you don't get shaken out of stuff that quickly. But that's really my main thing, is let winners run. That's probably like the best advice I have for small accounts. Yeah, I don't use scanners. I hate scanners, guys. Scanners just don't make sense to me. Do you chart on a daily? Yes, I do. I do most of my charting. Most of the time, actually, I only take trades if I like the daily time frame. Like, it has to be something on the daily time frame that makes me want to take that trade. So like, if I see a double bottom on a daily time frame, then I feel more confident to take calls, if that makes sense. So like, having that, I use the daily as if I'm day trading, I use the daily as a backup, right? The daily is like my backup, if that makes sense. So like, if I have the daily time frame showing me a double bottom, you know, I'm more likely to feel more, I like just knowing that it's a double bottom on the daily time frame. It gives me that extra confidence. I chart And normally I would chart on the weekends and I would just use the whole week to execute, or I chart after hours. But in this kind of market that we've been in, I've been kind of charting in the mornings instead of like in the evenings, because I ain't gonna lie, the market be waking up and it'd be a whole different market in the morning. So I just save myself the stress and just chart in the beginning. Let me chart in the morning. Around the market for me open up at 8:30. I get above around 7 and I just see what I like, right? And just go from there. Was buying, hold on. So that makes sense for when you buy multiple contracts, essentially. Yes, I always buy more contracts. I never buy one contract. I always buy more than one, just because I like to let winners run. I never buy one contract, even when I had a small account. If I can't buy multiple contracts on a small account, then I can't trade that stock. That's kind of what was my rule of thumb. I can't trade that stock if I can't buy multiple contracts. What's the happy medium between letting winners run and not letting green and red? So one of the things that I do that keeps me from letting green trades go to red is setting hard stops in profit. So you will hear a lot of the times where I'm trading, I'd be like, hey, set your stops in profit or set them at break even. So for example, if I buy Apple calls at $100, and Apple goes to $120 per contract, what I'm normally going to do is I'm going to set a hard stop loss at that break even price at $100. So it kind of keeps me from, like, losing more money than I'm okay with. And then as the stocks start increasing, I don't do trailing stops. I don't never really look to see kind of what that is. I know what trailing stops is, but I never really used it. But I do set stops in profit. For example, one of the trades that I took actually today on Amazon. So Amazon, I took the trade. I bought the contracts at $12.25 per contract. And then once we start going to profits, I then set my stop loss at break even. So if we had came back, I set my stop loss at break even. That way, if it pulls back, obviously I take a smaller loss. I will only lose a little bit. And then as it started pushing, the contracts went to $1,400 per contract. And I was able to start moving my stop loss up so I won't go red on the trade. So that helps me a lot. If you're a person that, have trouble with taking profits or, holding losers, using those hard stop losses definitely help, if that makes sense. Start using those hard stops. If you don't know about stop losses, please, they have tons of YouTube videos on it. Use those stop losses if you can. And if you get shooken out, that's fine. You get shooken out, re-enter. People literally don't like re-entering for some reason. I don't know. So that's one of the things that I do. That's actually helped me a lot, setting my stop loss at break even once I go in profit. I was buying in the money, so it was expensive compared to my account. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, buying any money is fine, but understand, like I said, if you can't buy multiples of those contracts, then you don't need to be trading that stock in general. What's my minimum? My minimum? I don't know what you mean by that. You said the daily chart is your backup. What's your primary while you're trading? The 15-minute. The 15-minute and the 10-minute is my best friends when I'm trading, like, intraday. Those are my best friends. I use the 15-minute and the 10-minute. People might say, Jay, why don't you use the 5-minute? The 5-minute got too many fake outs for me personally. I used to get shooken out a lot using a 5-minute chart. So I've been going up to these bigger time frames. The 10-minute, I literally enter off the 10-minute. Right now I'm on a 5-minute just because I'm looking at it. I'm not in this trade, so I sometimes watch it. But most of the time I'm on that 10-minute or 15-minute chart. When looking at the daily, are you looking to okay, so I get this question a lot from beginners, right? They always ask me, do I look at, when I'm looking at the daily, how far out do I go? I go as far out as I need to go to where the chart makes sense. So, like, let's go to the AEL trade that I took. Actually, we can just go to Amazon, this double bottom that I took on a daily time frame. Excuse my levels, y'all. These be daily levels. I mean, these be intraday levels that I be reset. I reset my levels every day, by the way. People might think that's doing too much. It personally works for me. Hold on, guys. I don't know who drew on the screen. Okay, there we go. X out of this. Okay, so this is the double bottom that I had seen on Amazon. So as you can see, I didn't have to go that far back to understand what I wanted to see. So it wasn't no need for me to go far back, right? I seen the double bottom right here. I didn't have to go that far back. But like if you're trading like a bigger pattern, you can go far out. Like you can go all the way back. Like let me see AAL, that 1000% trade. Right. I had to go back about, pretty much, if we took it from here, I had to go back about 3 months to really gauge. So what I like to do is on my daily time frame, it's automatically set on 1 year, 1 day. So kind of what I like to do is I might come down to 5 years a little bit to kind of see if I can get like, see if I see like a really big picture. But as you can see, it was no needed to go back. The only time where I actually had to go back pretty far, I'm gonna say an example where I had to go back far was Ford. Ford was the first time I had to go back a lot, and it was when it broke this what level was this? It had broke one of these levels that I had was, my bad, y'all. I'll be some of the charts I be having teaching stuff on here. I think it was the weekly chart. One of these time frames, well, I think on the like I didn't it was no data. It wasn't no data. I think it was it the $20 break? Let me go back. So I had to go back some time because I couldn't find levels for it no more. Okay, here it was. Yeah, here it was. So as you can see, right here, we were approaching this level right here. And then if you just had it, y'all see it on, let me show you what I'm talking about so nobody get confused. Okay, so I was trying to trade Ford, right? And at the time, let me see. Right here, I believe. And let me go back to the 1 year time frame on the weekly. Let me go back to 1 year. Okay, no, that wasn't 1 year. Let's do 2 years. My bad. I'm just trying to say out what I had to actually go back. Okay, so yeah. So normally your charts end up sometimes going to look like this. So understand none of this had happened yet, guys. None of this literally has happened, right? None of this has happened yet. So as we can see, this was the highest point that Ford had been technically on your charts. So I'm trying to find like, okay, I don't know what Ford is going to do. I don't have enough data. So I had to go back and see if we had more data, right? So I go back 5 years. As you can see, I go back 5 years. I still couldn't find another level right when we break this one. I could not find it. So I'm like, all right, I have to keep going back until I can find it. And if I can't, then I know we just trade all-time highs. So I go back 10 years, right? 10 years. I'm like, okay, all right. I see what levels are next for Ford, right? Now that, but you see, I have to go back an extra 5 years to get that level. So this is the example. I use the example because I don't have to do this as often, but this is an example where I had to go back pretty far to get that next, that next data or whatever, if that made sense. This is the only time that I ever had to do this, but this is an example of me having to go back a couple of years. So I go back as far as I need to. If everything that I need isn't clear right away, I go back further, if that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense. I hope it did, but so understand you don't have to go back that far. If you just go back if you need extra data. On average, how many? Okay, that's a good question. On average, how many contracts do you buy at a time, or would you recommend for a small account? Do you ever roll your options contract? No, I never roll my options contract. But so for me, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. So normally most of my trades, 90% of my trades, at this point, it wasn't always like this. 90% of my trades, I am going in anywhere from $10,000 to $20,000. That is kind of like the amount that I go in at. But as far as small accounts, like when I was growing my small account, when I had $2,000, the max I will go in is $200. And to kind of give you a perspective, let me get a whiteboard real quick. Now I gotta break down some risks for you guys. Share new screen. Let's do a whiteboard real quick. Okay, can everybody see the whiteboard? I want everybody to pay attention to this so you can kind of see on how I grow accounts. Okay, let me pay attention. Please pay attention to this real quick. So let's say that I had a $2,000 account, right? it's hard to draw on this. So just understand this, right? Please understand it. It's hard to draw on this. So let's say I got a $2,000 account, right? So for me, 10% is kind of like my go-to, right? So I want to only break this up into 10% trades, right? So my max per trade is 10%, which is $200, right? So remember, $200, and then we do 200 times, hold on, wait, did I do my math right? Okay, yep. So that means we got $200, and then we can fit, hold on, 200 times 10, right? Yep, 2,000, yep. So, all right, we got $200. That means we can get, save some sauce for tonight's class. Now I got tonight's class is something totally different. So let's say we got $200. So that means I can do 10 trades. And like, if you want to go lower, if you feel like you don't have a high success rate or whatever, you can do less than 10, but I normally do 10%. Not even gonna lie to you guys. So I do a 10% of my account per trade. And I normally have about a 20% stop loss, but that's like my max, right? The way I take my trades, it's hard to get that 20% anyway. So I have a 20% stop loss, right? 20% stop loss. Okay, so I have $200, but this is how much I can go in max per trade, right? So let's say that let's just say somebody throw me a random percentage, right? Just throw me a random percentage out right now. I'm about to show you how I do it. Just give me a random percentage. 30. All right, let's do 30. That's the first one. So let's say that, our first $200 trade was a winner, right? We have a 30% win, right? So now, oh yeah, I gotta do my math. Hold on. Don't judge me. So we got $60. Don't judge me. I swear, I suck at math. So, all right. So we got $60. So we won $60. Hold on. So we got $60, right? That was a 30% win. So now we got that. So remember, our stop loss is 20. So let's say we take our next trade where we use $200 again. We got $200. And let's say, remember, our max stop loss is 20, right? So if it hits 20, no matter what it is, we cut. This is only for growing a small account. This is only for growing your account. The stop losses can be different when you have a bigger account and you're not necessarily growing and you're just trying to make money within your trading plan. But for growing a small account, you have to use these 20% or these 15, 10% stop losses, right? So understand, not every loss is going to be 20%. So somebody said 15, that was the next number. So let's say that we lose 15% on this next trade, right? So that's $30, right? So we lose $30 on this trade. And let's say the next trade, we have that same $200 and, we lose, somebody give me another one. Somebody give me one more for this loser. Remember, it can't reach over 20% though. Let's just do 20%. No, let's just do 20%. Let's just say we lose the whole 20%, right? So let's say we lose the whole 20%. I'm trying to get y'all to understand this. So let's say we lose the whole 20%. So that's $40, right? We lost $40. And then give me another percentage for a winner, right? Let's just say we have a 50% win rate so far. Give me another percent. It don't have to be nothing crazy. Just a random number, guys. 36. Okay. So this winner was 30%, 36. So that's $72, right? So now that we do this, we have a 50% win rate. So now let's total up our account right now. Remember, we got a $2,000 account. So right now we have a 2,000 plus 60 minus 30 minus 40 plus 72. So now, even though we took 2 losses, our account, yeah, I definitely did that slow as hell. Now our account is 2,062. And I know this don't sound like, oh, that's not a lot of money. I'm telling you guys, it's literally how I was doing it, and it worked. Because understand, once you're able to get that win rate up and you stick to these stop losses, some of these trades are not going to be this low percentage. Some of these trades might go 100%. We have 100% winner here. Let's say we got 100% winner. most of the time, the way I trade, a lot of my trades do go 100%. So then that's the extra $200. We add that on there. Now our account is at 220.62. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like still using it this way. Do that over time. You can see how quickly and how effectively your account is growing. I know that sounds kind of hard to believe right now, but I got a good example on my Instagram that you guys can use. But I promise you, I'm challenging you all to do this for the next 2 to 3 months and then send me your account. Because the problem is a lot of people don't understand. They blow their accounts. So if you keep blowing your accounts, try this, at least try this for 2 to 3 months and then let me know how it goes. I guarantee you, if you do it exactly how I'm telling you to do it, the only way you're going to blow your account is if you literally lose almost every trade past your stop loss, right? It will take you, understand, if we doing it this way, I'm not gonna lie, it will take you realistically almost about 100 trades out of that 2,000 to lose to blow your account. Y'all get what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, that's kind of unrealistic. So I ain't gonna lie, I'm just being honest, not trying to comfort nobody. But if you lose a damn 100 trades in a row, the problem isn't the market, it's you. So then at that point, you got to reassess yourself, right? You have to reassess yourself. But as you can see, I never gave myself a profit target. I never said, oh, I'm gonna take 20% here, 20% there. No, I'm letting my winners run. You know, this trade might go 1,000%, right? This trade might go there, right? You never know. So that is one reason how I'm able to grow my account, is because I got a strict, it is only for growing a small account. I got a strict stop loss, right? I got a strict stop loss. And then I let my winners run. So you can see, like I said, we literally just I bought the AL thing was $19, guys. It was like $19 or $18. We bought those contracts for $19, $18. They went to like $100 per contract. So imagine if you would remember, your max risk is $200 per trade. Let's just put that in perspective. You put $20 per trade. Let's just say there was $18 at the time, right? So divided by 18, you were able to buy 11 contracts, roughly around 11 contracts at AEL, that 1,000%er, right? And then they all went to about $180 per contract. So you had 11 times 180. It was a little more than that. So right there, you would have made 2,000. I understand, like, people say, oh, that's real unrealistic or whatever. I'm telling you guys, if you let your winners run, you will see these type of gains. This happens to me on a weekly basis. I always have some type of trade that goes crazy every single week. And the reason why is I let my winners run. So for people that think that this is unrealistic, these type of trades they happen. They really happen. So let's say if you would have took my AAL trade using the second same strategy, you would have made on just that $200. You would have made, and this is what people in my mentorship did it. They did this exact thing. You would have made, hold on. You didn't YOLO your account. You did your same risk, just a winner ran, right? Where is that? You would have made, damn, where did the calculator go? You'd have made $2,790, right? Or just that $200, same risk, you just let a winner run. So then when you total up your account is over 4,000. But the reason why, like, every trade not gonna be like this, but I'm telling you, do it with time and just do this consistently. Then you will start building consistent. You will start taking off. You will start taking off those. You won't blow your account as fast. You will build more consistency, and then you will start trusting your charts a lot more. You know, how many of you guys actually been in a difficult trade? Like, let's say, how many people of you actually put in a lot of size in the trade, more than what you were okay with, and you just was shaking, you got shaken out pretty quickly? How many times that? That's because you put too much size in it, and now you can't even effectively trade because you put too much size. And don't feel bad, guys. This happened to me. Just real quick transparency. My biggest loss year to date was NVIDIA. I put $140,000 in NVIDIA, the most I ever put in the trade. And when I say that thing, it reversed on me, and I went down. I actually went down like $100,000, but I was able to like come back, and I had lost. It was like 57,000, and I took a $57,000 loss. And the reason why, I sized too much, I went against my rules, and then I lost, right? So one thing that I focused on was, now I use my 10% thing, right? And also pay yourself. This is another thing that I wish I was doing early in the beginning. Pay yourself, guys. after you make money, withdraw it. One thing that Sean told me that still stick with me, either you take it or the market will, right? Actually, I was going to tell you guys about this today. So I actually just started a $7,000 account. That $7,000 account yesterday touched $133,000 from 7,000. Took me about a little over a month to get it, right? And the reason why I'm telling you this is it was all about my confidence and just getting it there. And what I do is I withdrew that money. The account right now is I think at like $95,000 or whatever. And I withdrew over $40,000 out of that account. And the reason why I'm taking that profit, I'm building myself a cushion. It's not real unless it's in your bank account. I don't care what nobody say. They be like, oh, it's real if you see your brokerage account. No. It's only real if it's in your bank account. If that money not in your bank account, it ain't real. It still ain't your money. Yeah, you might have, it's in your buying power, but it's not your money until it's in that bank account. Yes. When you let winners run, do you mean cut a few contracts? Yes. Cut a few contracts and, let some run. Let it run, guys. Don't be so quick to take profits. There's a such thing as taking profits early. That is a real thing. Okay, like I said, now I'm very, because I know I'm gonna have people say, well, Jay, that don't sound like 10% to me. Eventually, once you start getting very confident, because right now we're talking about building a small account, and then once you get to that point, then you will see. Now, as far as when it comes to stuff like that, because that's unrealistic. I'm going to tell you the truth. $7,000 to $133,000 in literally less than 2 months. That's unrealistic. That's unrealistic. It happens, but that's unrealistic. That's not something that happens all the time, right? But once you build that confidence in your trading and you've been doing it, you're able to take those higher risks. Now, I'm not about to sit up here and give you guys a fake story. I definitely was full porting the hell out of that account. And the reason why was because I was confident in what I was doing. I understood my risk. I accepted my risk, and I was able to take that risk. I was okay with the risk. So yes, I was full porting. People might say, oh, that's YOLOing. You can say what you want to say, but at the same time, I've been through the small account stage. I've grew my account. I'm confident in what I'm doing. I've tested my strategy. I know it works. So when I see those A+ setups present, yes, I'm going to put some size. But if your goal is to grow your account right now, you shouldn't be doing that. Now, once you get that six-figure bank account, if you already don't have it, once you get that money where you're able to take those risks, then by all means, go ahead and take that risk. Just stay true to your plan. But if as far as growing an account, nah, you on this. You on that letting the winners run and cutting losses. This is what you're supposed to be doing. One of the traders that I love, her name is Allie. She took a whole year. She only traded with $1,000 for a whole entire year. The reason why, she could have been up to her account, but she knew that she wanted to build consistency and learning to trade a small account. Because the truth is, people think that just because you have more money, you're going to make more. That's not true. I know too many people that's come in the market with thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars, and they blow it. If you can't manage a small account, you cannot manage a big one. I'm telling you that right now. Because guess what happened? When I got a big account, I started getting beside myself. And what was the first thing that I did? The first thing I did was take a $57,000 loss. First thing I did. That was the first thing I did. I took a $57,000 loss. Another time that I got caught in a big loss was I had grew my account from $33,000. I mean, my bad, not 33. I grew an account from $3,000. I never told them. I told people this, but not y'all. I haven't told y'all this, but I'm going to tell you how that account ended. So I grew an account with Shine in the chat. I grew an account from $3,000 to $61,000 in 28 days, I believe. It was something like that. So that morning, I hate this story because this hurt me the most. That morning, I was on the phone with my friend, and I was like, hey, I want to go buy my Tesla. I just grew this account. I want to take this money out and buy my Tesla, right? My friend was like, hey, take the money out, go get your car. You worked for it, right? That morning, I was looking at the market. I'm getting ready to withdraw that money. Then I'm like, you know what? If I just do one more trade and get this account to 100K, then I could buy my Tesla and have another, more money left over. So what did I do? I started feeling myself. I put $30,000 in the very first trade. it was Chewy. Oh, it was Chewy calls, right? I put 30,000. I literally put the whole Tesla money in that trade. Yeah. When I say that damn trade went to shit. Hey, when I say that was the quickest, that was the quickest 20K I've ever lost in my life trading damn breakouts. And it was like so crazy because I literally just was supposed to take that money out. I was just that morning and I called my homeboy. I was so mad because he was going to the Tesla dealership with me. He was already getting dressed because he was supposed to go with me. And I was like, never mind, bro. Never mind, bro. We ain't going to no Tesla dealership today. And that was my thing, though. Like, pay yourself. Take the money out. If you say you're going to do something, guys, do it. If you feel that you made too much money in the market, take the money, please. Take the money out. Put it in your bank account. So guess what happened next time I did it? I did it again. I went in. I grew an account the same way. I think I grew it from like 10K to like 80,000. Y'all best believe the next time I definitely took that money out. And there we go. I have my car now. But that's the whole point of what I'm trying to tell you guys, that it's not all, oh, you start from a profitable trade. You start, you become profitable, and then there you go, you off to the riches. No, you start making money, you start feeling yourself, you start feeling like you beating the market or whatever. Like then you start, overdoing it, and then you start losing it. It definitely been up and downs getting to this point. But also understand that it's all a part of the process, guys. It's never in a straight line. Success is never in a straight line. You're going to have ups and downs on your journey. And that was like my biggest ups and downs, to where I started getting good at making money, but it was hard to keeping it. So then when I focused on keeping it, that's when I was able to start seeing my account get to a point where it's at today. So, yeah, so that's pretty much that. Any more questions? Yeah, marketing is humbling as hell. Like, bruh. You remember what I just told you that story on how I made 14,000 on Nike? Gave that right back. Gave that right back. That went right back to the market. I'm telling you that right now. I made that 14,000 on Nike. I gave that right back. So that's just like my little journey. It's definitely been a roller coaster ride, guys. It's been a roller coaster ride getting to this point, and it's I still know it's gonna be more. What are the best stocks to trade for a small account? I actually posted this on my Instagram. Not trying to refer y'all to keep going to my Instagram, but I posted a whole entire list of stocks that I trade on small accounts. Do you recommend straddle strategy? I actually never, not gonna lie, I've never traded the straddle, try to straddle. I've never did that before. So I'm never gonna tell you guys something that I didn't use to grow my account, right? This is literally all I did was to grow my account, just trading calls and puts, right? That's all I did. My IG it's called JSLA Trades. Exactly how I'm typing it is a couple fake pages out here. Like I said, but it's JSLA Trades. I'm gonna drop some more gems. Guys, I kind of got forced into social media. I'm not really a social media type of person. I'm getting into it now, just because I like dropping gems and stuff like that. But I'm gonna start posting more stuff. Any more questions before I let y'all go? I know we've been on here for a minute. Any more questions before I let you guys go? Ask them now or forever hold your peace. All right, I think that's it. Do you own? Okay, people ask me this all the time as well. I am not a long-term person. I am not a long-term. I'm not an investor. I am a trader. It's just quick transparency. Lawrence is the person to go with long-term investing. I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of the type of person that I just buy companies that I can see here in 10. My investing strategy is like so simple. Oh, I see this. I think this is going to be great in the next 10 years. So I'm gonna just buy shares of this. So I'm not really a super, I ain't gonna lie, I actually kind of trade my long-term portfolio actually. So like, for example, I put $113,000 in coin not too long ago, like last week. And I bought coin shares at $65. And then I sold them at $82. And I made about what was it, like $30,000 profit on my long-term portfolio. I did the same thing with Netflix, Disney. So I kind of trade my long-term portfolio. I trade shares in my long-term portfolio. But I'm not really an investing type of person. The computer that I use, I keep everything I do about trading is simple. I have a MacBook Pro, the newest one out, the smaller version, not the huge one. I paid about $1,200 for it with the M1 chip. It does perfectly. I execute my trades and everything. And I have a monitor. I have two monitors. I have a LG widescreen monitor, and then I have I got to figure out what kind of monitor this is. It's like a vertical for tape reading or something like that. But I keep everything simple, guys. I don't really, do anything else. As far as like my phone, I do execute a lot of trades from my phone. I don't chart on my phone, but I will execute trades from my phone. I have an iPhone 13 Pro Max, so I trade on Thinkorswim, but my long-term portfolio is on I use Chase. As far as taxes, I guess you can ask Abby about that. I talk to Abby a lot about taxes. But as far as taxes, no, I don't set money to aside for taxes. I kind of I got hit with a huge tax bill this year, about $270,000. So but I always keep money in my bank. So that's kind of how that works. But this year I'm trading under my LLC now. So I'm able to save some money. I'm able to write off things. Yeah, my whole life is a risk. If y'all didn't notice, I want to be a pilot. So everything I do in my life requires risk. So how large are your monitors? I think my monitors are 32, I believe. I have to check the box. It's like 32. Yeah, I'm gonna repost this in Discord I'm gonna post it. I have to post to my YouTube and then put it in my Discord. Yeah. Do you use limit orders only? Limit orders only. Limit orders only. Never. I don't know. I don't know if Lawrence taught y'all to use market orders. I never use market orders. I always use limit orders. I don't never want the market to tell me what price they're gonna do. I only want to use limit. If I can't get filled at what I want to get filled at, then I obviously just don't take the trade. Whenever I make a trade, I know how much I want to pay for it. So doing market is risky as hell to me. So you don't mind going out the money? No, I don't mind. I go out the money. I go out the money pretty much 98% of the time I'm going out the money or at the money. The only time I go to in the money is like stocks like AAL or AT&T. I do trade stocks like that every now and then. Like I said, I'm a small account advocate. I love helping small accounts grow. So that's when I trade those type of stocks with them. As far as that, so those type of stocks I use. I go in the money on those. Where I'm gonna send it in my chat. I'm gonna post it. So how often do you do this? So I do classes with the mentees. Like I said, if you're in BWSO, I'm gonna just send y'all the link so y'all can come to my classes. I do classes Tuesdays. I ain't gonna lie to you guys. I kind of do them every day in a way. I do classes, but mainly the core days are Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays at 8 p.m. Eastern time. And I just get on here. What I normally do at the beginning of the week, I have a class schedule, and then I just send out the class schedule so you get to see what I'm going over that day, and you can kind of decide if you want to go to that class or not. That's kind of how I do it. So like today, I believe today is identifying the trend. That's what today is. So today we're going to be learning about the trend and psychology, a little bit psychology. You guys kind of already learned about that a little bit today, but that's the class that I'm going over today. And then on Friday, I believe is entries and exits and recaps. I do a lot of trading recaps during these classes on like why I took this trade and stuff like that. Okay, he taught us limit. Good. Because I don't market. I used market one time, and I promise you, it literally was no. I was up. I never forget. I was up like $8,000, and I had used market, and I promise you, I didn't win nothing. It literally sold me at break even. Like I did not have no gain, and I was up 8,000. So I will never use market orders ever again. Well, my class today is at 8 p.m. All my classes are at 8 p.m. Eastern time. Yeah, it's gonna be in my tab. It's gonna take a minute. Yes, I record every single class. If I don't record, people gonna curse me out. So now I'm going to be very transparent with you guys. When the market is closed or when I'm out of class, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of have a tendency of walking away from my computer. So just be on me if I don't upload the class. Like give me at least 24 hours after class to upload it. I try to upload it right after, but I'm just being honest, I'm not very consistent with that. Just because after class, like this class, this definitely not going to be uploaded to like later on today. So like just don't get on me if you don't see it in a while. Just because I'll be walking away from the screen. Is there a way we can view them? Are they on YouTube? So my classes are actually unlisted. So what I'm gonna do is give me about, let me see what time is it? I have to make a run. Today is, you gotta pay your rent. It's the first. No, it's the second. Oh, I'm late on my rent. But I have to go pay my rent real quick. So give me a minute. I'm gonna try to drop just every class that I did for you guys. I've been meaning to do this for a while and just like let you guys go through all my previous classes that I had. They're labeled so you can kind of see. Yes, I'm the J30 tab. If you didn't know, the J30 tab, that's me. You got it to the fifth. No, the J30 class, that's me. But no, I'll be yeah, I'll drop the links for y'all. I'm gonna drop it into J30 tab. Or actually, I think y'all got an education tab, if I believe. Let me see. I think y'all do. I'm not sure. Let's see. Y'all have a videos tab. I'm gonna drop them in a videos tab, guys, so you don't clutter my tab up. Oh, y'all wouldn't put in J30? I'll put in J30 then. That's cool. Okay, I'll just put it in my tab then. It's a lot. Like it's like, ain't gonna lie to you. It's about 40 of them. So just keep that in mind. It's a lot of them. So I'm gonna just drop them all in there and just you could go in there and just go get them. It's about 40 different classes. Uh but okay. Um no problem. But all right, guys, I'm gonna let you guys go. I gotta go pay this rent. And go from there. All right. See, I hope anybody learned from this. Like I said, I have a good example of these on Instagram. So if you want to go check them out, just go on Instagram and check out this example that I used and just go from there. I do challenge all you guys that learned this to please give it a try for like 3 months. I promise you, you're gonna notice that like you're gonna notice a huge difference. If you don't notice, like, ain't no way. I'm confident if you do this for the next 2 to 3 months, I promise you, you're gonna see that your account is actually growing, even if you took losses. Like you can do this with a 40%, 50, a 30% win rate. It ain't about win rates, guys. I know traders that lose more than they win, but by having the right proper risk management, they're still profitable. Understand that. Like literally, you don't have to have a high win rate to grow your account. You just got to have the right risk management. So that's all it is. That's literally all it is. Like I don't have to have 100% win rate to be profitable. Like actually, to be honest, okay, let me not try to lie. I got a pretty high win rate, but I got a pretty high win rate. But still, it's like, you don't have to have one though. I ain't gonna downplay myself. It's also type that I ain't gonna downplay myself to sound no, I do. I win more than I lose a lot of the time. I'm definitely up there in the 80s, 90s. But anyways, like I said, you can still do this even with a 40%, 30% win rate and still win. That's the problem. That's the point I'm trying to get you guys to understand is risk management. But all right, I will see you guys if you're coming to class tonight. The link will be posted at 8:30. I mean at 8 Eastern time. I'll post it in the chat, in my chat, and just come by and just kind of see how it goes. They last about an hour to 2 hours, and we'll just go from there. But all right, guys.